Alright guys, and welcome to this week's top 10 list. Now we all love having downforce on our cars and games. It gives us that extra sense of control and an edge over the competition in terms of handling. But some companies take it way overboard in an effective way though. One of the best ways to produce downforce is obviously having a walloper of a wing on your car. This hunkers it down and sticks it to the road to produce as much traction and grip as physically possible. So here's my list of the top 10 road cars with the craziest spoilers in Forza Horizon 3. Feel free to let me know yours in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Number 10. The Lexus LFA. It's no secret that I am a major fan of this car. A 552 horsepower howling V10 with a noise to wake the dead. The LFA is so good in fact that Lexus themselves have been struggling to produce a vehicle which is either on par or exceeds it. The wing is electronically raised when you're travelling at speeds that Mr. Piggy will not be pleased at. It's not the widest or tallest spoiler, but in terms of cool factor, it is right up there. Number 9. The Pagani Huayra BC. I and many others out there admire the craftsmanship of Pagani. The manner in which they build their machines and the quality of the finish is just mind-boggling. The BC is a more lightweight, powerful and hardcore version of their Huayra hypercar. 740 horsepower, 737 foot-pounds of torque and one of the coolest active aero systems ever to grace a car. The front and rear flaps let it dive into corners with an insane amount of stability and grip, but helping them in the job is that gorgeous, almost shark fin like rear wing. Number 8. The 991 Porsche 911 GT3 RS. With Turn 10 finally bagging a contract with Porsche, we finally got this big winged bad boy to play around in. We all know the story behind the GT3 RS, so I'm not going to bore you with it, but instead go on to say that if you're a die-hard racing fan, it's your duty to drive this thing at least once. The 4-litre flat 6 churns out 493 horsepower and 339 foot-pounds of torque, which the humongous 325 rear section tyres lays down onto the tarmac. But obviously the elephant in the room is that spoiler. Just the fact that they can get away with selling a car with that on the back, it's just downright mental but amazing. Number 7. The Bugatti Veyron SS. Speaking of vehicles that are hard to believe are roadworthy, comes this 1183 horsepower heavyweight beast. With 10 radiators and 4 turbochargers, the SS can plough onto a top speed of 267 miles an hour. So it needs all the stopping power in the world, which notoriously it doesn't have in Forza. Luckily however, that wing acts as a gigantic air brake, which helps a little. It also moves around to suit its speed. If you're really gunning it, it will lower itself to let the car cut through the air more sharply and cleanly. Number 6. The McLaren P1. One of the most terrifying but spectacular cars to surface in recent years. The P1 is the very definition of a thrill ride. Rear wheel drive, over 900 horsepower and electronics which will shatter your senses. It also looks like nothing else out there on the road, almost space age. Just like the Bugatti, the Big Mac's wing adjusts itself so that it can pump out the best of its handling and performance capabilities. The shape of it even mimics the bodywork, with sci-fi like swoops and holes to slam it in the ground and let the air flow at speed. Little word of warning though, keep the traction control on if you don't want to suffer the wrath of the Widowmaker. Number 5. The Dodge ViperACR. This car boasts quite possibly the most famous wing in the past couple of years. This has helped the ACR blast around and demolish track records all over the world. With 645 horsepower on tap from an 8.4 litre V10, the Viper certainly has the good old American grunt to back up the sensational handling. Too bad the ride comfort on the road is appalling, but to be honest, do you really buy one of these things to daily? No, I didn't think so. Also, hashtag Solomon VIP experience. Number 4. The Lamborghini Veneno. The Veneno is ridiculously expensive, not only in real life, but in Forza 2, hence the reason why I haven't got one yet. I'm a massive fan of Lambo, always have been ever since I was a kid, so whenever they release a new one-off or a special limited run of cars, I may have a slight crisis every time. Essentially just a more aggressive and alien-like Aventador, the Veneno is certainly not hard to see coming. With razor sharp edges, Italian flair, a screaming 740 horsepower 6.5 litre V12, and by far the wackiest wing ever fitted to any raging bull to date. Number 3. The Radical RXC Turbo. Yes, it's hard to believe, but this is a road car. Radicals have always had a reputation for killing it on the track. They allow you to step in and experience what it would be like to drive a proper balls to the wall race car, because that's essentially what it is. But yet again, you can use it on the bloody road. With a dry weight of 2,072 pounds, or for the folks here in the UK, 939 kilograms, the RXC packs a hell of a punch for that level of lightness. 454 horsepower to be exact, a 0 to 60 time of 2.6 seconds, and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. Good thing that wing is the size of Kanye West's ego. So we're down to the final two cars now, guys, and number 2 is the GTA Spano. It may not be the most handsome of vehicles, but you cannot deny, for thrills and exclusivity, the Spano is up there with the big boys. I personally prefer the older generation of the car, but I am certainly not complaining with this, a 912 horsepower, 8 litre V10 Spanish monster. Yes, the spoiler may look like nothing when it rises, but as soon as you stamp on the brakes, it's like nothing else. The width and the depth of it is just bonkers, and I can guarantee you that Boeing 747s would be jealous. So then it comes down to this. This is the car with the craziest spoiler in Forza Horizon 3. The Koenigsegg 1-1. It was an extremely close call between the Spano and this, but in the end, the Swedish Psycho shone through. What is there to say about this wing apart from holy freaking moly? It looks like the spine of the car is grown outwards to make it one of the most deadliest weapons for the road, or anywhere in that matter. Is it the closest thing to a proper aeroplane wing in a car? I think so. It's the things it does which makes it a pleasure to watch. At 70 miles an hour, it angles upwards to give the best possible downforce for cornering. Then the time 130 rolls around, which isn't long, it falls completely flat for a spear-like flow through the air. And of course, it has an air brake function too, because when you're doing 220 miles an hour plus, you kinda need that. So that was my top 10 cars with the craziest spoilers in Forza Horizon 3. As I mentioned before, let me know yours in the comments below. A like and a share would be greatly appreciated, and if you're new, consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you very much for watching, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you in my next video.